Today is May 1st, which means there's a lot of great things on the horizon for me. So I'm going to celebrate by recording this paint scheme review while drinking a nice alcoholic beverage. First of all, my birthday's coming up, May 18th, the big 25 years old. Then only a week later, I'm going to follow up that great day with my bachelor party at the Coke 600. I'll be in Charlotte all weekend. Maybe I'll see some of you guys around, but hopefully you don't see my mugshot on the internet. But before we can get to all that, we first have to get through the 12th race of the Xfinity Series season at Texas, and guess what? There's paint schemes to review. Let's go. I love how I just casually tried to knock out my two front teeth with this glass straw. Sheldon probably feels like he's getting his teeth knocked out every single time he finishes second. 8. Every time they run these Carolina carports paint schemes, it always reminds me of Rick Pitino and the 2013 vacated national title. I never could understand why they made such a big deal out of Rick Pitino hiring strippers for his players. Sounds like a class act to me. 10. I know Jesse Love was pretty upset with himself after he attempted murder on his best friend Connor Zilic at Talladega, but he has to really feel like an asshole now, since Connor is going to miss this weekend's race. I think because of that, Jesse, you should win this weekend at Texas and then vacate your victory and give it to Connor Zilic. 8. You got to feel bad for Parker Retzlaff. After finishing a career-best second at Rockingham, he follows it up at Talladega with a dead last. Also, I just remembered, I bought a couple of those Alpha Prime brownie bite things at Five Below like 3 weeks ago that I still haven't tried and reviewed. Expect that video soon. I'm assuming they're probably going to taste like shit though. 9. Patrick Emmerling proved once again why he's basically the second coming of Jesus Christ himself by finishing 12th at Talladega. Pair that with the 10th place finish he got at Daytona earlier this year, and I think we have the recipe for a potential major upset winner. I'm not sure if he even has any more Xfinity races scheduled for this year, but he is racing that 75 truck later this month at either Charlotte or North Wilkesboro, so keep an eye out. But this week, we have Nick Lights. 9. It's truly a damn shame that Justin Allgaier always finds a way to lose a race in the most magnificent way. Because if it weren't for that, I think dude would be like an 8-time Xfinity champion with 120 wins. But instead, we have races like Phoenix. 8. I don't find it to be a coincidence that Sammy Smith decides to comment on my videos at some of the lowest points in my life. The first time Sammy Smith showed his face around these parts was just days after a Category 1 hurricane went above my head and I was without power for a week. Then he comments last week while I'm absolutely pissed drunk after having one of the shittiest days of the year. I'm loving my life today, Sammy. Don't comment. 4. Daniel Dye told me that he hated me last week because I didn't give him the paint scheme of the week. I feel terrible. I haven't been able to sleep since. I really don't want to lose my future shake and bake golf partner. So, 10. This is Josh Williams. 7. Unfortunately, Garrett Smithley came in the last weekend with no sponsorship and was unable to qualify for the race at Talladega. The good news is he has a sponsor this week and his paint scheme totally fucks. 10. I still think AJ Allmendinger is behind the wheel of this race car every single time I see it. Can somebody please validate me in the comments that I don't have dementia? 5. Is this the first time other than the Darlington throwback race that William Sawalich hasn't had sound gear on the car? 8. You guys are getting truly blessed this weekend because not only did you already get one reminder that Riley Herbst exists on this planet, but now you're getting a second reminder. Riley, I can't wait to see your 8th place finish. 6. And there's Brandon Jones. 6. I really hope that Austin Hill either hit the casino on the ride home or started playing a shit ton of scratch-offs as soon as he entered the state of North Carolina. Because this dude must have a horseshoe shoved up his ass. Can somebody please explain to me why the biggest motorsport in all of America only has 3 shitty camera angles to determine the winner of a race. Was Austin Hill ahead of Jeb Burton? I mean, maybe, but how can we even possibly tell? Like, am I just an idiot, or are we still living in the 1960s? I think it may be time to invest in some better technology. Or, call me crazy, guys, but maybe don't throw a fucking caution for a single car wreck on the last lap of the race? Thanks. 8. I saw a video last week of somebody doing their own paint scheme review. They gave their top 5 paint schemes of the Xfinity race. They had Harrison Burton's Dex imaging car in the top 5. Am I the crazy one in this situation? Do I not have eyeballs attached to my brain? I thought we could all agree, not only as a NASCAR fan base, but as an entire nation, that Dex imaging car completely fucking sucks. But there's people on planet Earth that'll put that car in their top 5? I would put that paint scheme in the top 5 shittiest paint schemes of all time. You have got to be kidding me. But this car bangs. 10. Try not to take any offense here, Dean. You're running great, but I think I've become number 1 in the Corey Heim fan club, and he deserves this ride more than you. Sorry. 9. Now, this weekend's race is sponsored by Andy's Frozen Custard, which I absolutely love. If you haven't been to Andy's before, they do have some pretty crazy flavor combinations. Which leads me to this question. If Sam Mayer had his own flavor at Andy's, what do you think it would be? Also, why isn't cold custard sponsored by Andy's this weekend? Red Baron Pizza sucks. 10. Stop me if you've heard this before. Alpha Prime never misses. 9. I know I haven't said this before, but Alpha Prime never misses. 9. Again, this just solidifies my theory that Big Machine Racing only puts their paint schemes on NASCAR.com when they're running a one-off pile of shit. 3. I gotta tell you, Jeremy Clements has kind of taken a dive on the paint schemes this year. I mean, I don't mind the design. I love the bull. Looks like he's charging off of the side of the race car. But can we please give up on the chrome numbers? Unfortunately, I rarely see his cars on TV, so all I have to go off is this render, and I could barely see the number. It just blends in too much. With that being said, 9. Did Joe Gibbs, forget to update Taylor Gray after the Martinsville debacle? I mean, I thought for sure after that he was going to pick up a W, but he really hasn't even been close since. 6. Funny story about future Formula Drift champion Leland Honeyman. You see, I had quite a bit of cash riding on Leland Honeyman to at least get a top 10 at Talladega, and it was looking really good. I also had money on top 5 in winter. I was feeling really confident. And then for whatever reason, Leland tries to do this Tokyo drift maneuver coming to the choose cone when he was supposed to line up 11th. Let me just say, he didn't drive through the cone. I thought the rule was if you drove through the cone, you got sent to the back. Leland didn't drive through the cone. He spun around the cone. He shouldn't have been put to the back, but he was, and he ultimately finished 13th. Good finish, but it didn't pay. But I was completely blown away when my phone rang at 11:45. I looked down and it was Leland himself. For the first time in my degenerate NASCAR gambling career, I had a driver apologize to me for losing me money. So you know what, Leland? It's okay. You tried your best. It was a good race. And if they didn't throw the caution, I still think you finished in the top 10. And thank you for the phone call. It actually made my entire weekend. See you at Charlotte. 8. For whatever reason, it seems like a lot of these teams are addicted to the idea of running a yellow that looks like unhydrated piss. The worst part about this paint scheme, though, is that I don't hate it. 8. First and foremost, Connor, I hope you get well soon. Although I don't agree with the caution, that wreck was gnarly, and I am so glad that Connor was able to get out of the car by himself. And I don't blame the guy for a second for taking off Texas if he has a lower back issue. You do not want to hit the wall at Texas if your back hurts. which means Kyle Larson is filling in, which also means the Xfinity race is probably going to suck again. Unless an alien comes and abducts Kyle Larson for planet Earth. It's a damn shame because I was truly going to give Connor Zilic his first paint scheme of the week this year, but I just can't give it to a fill-in driver. But still, glaze on. 10. I've personally never been to Rita's, so I guess I can't judge it, but it does feel kind of personal to throw in the Rita's sponsorship at the Andy's Frozen Custard sponsored race. You guys better watch out. Don't fuck with my boys. 7. And the paint scheme of the week goes to Daniel Dye. Sorry I didn't give it to you last week, buddy. I hope this makes up for it. Here is this week's top 3. Had Connor Zilic actually been running, I don't think this would have even been close. Sorry, Daniel. But here is your current Xfinity Series paint scheme review point standings. The Xfinity Series gets a couple weeks off after this race at Texas, so see you guys all at Charlotte. Later.